What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got to talk about it as Bill Simmons and Kendrick Perkins getting into it, man. And we know Big Perk and the crew at ESPN is covering the NBA draft. And yesterday, Bill Simmons had a reaction to what Kendrick Perkins said during the draft about the Toronto Raptors potentially finishing in the top six next year in the Eastern Conference. But we got to take it back to 2023 because these guys have shared words over social media before. I ain't gonna go through everything that's been said, but it says on Bill Simmons' X account, 2023 has featured some of the worst public figure NBA takes of all time, literally of all time, and we still have 10 months to go. And so Kendrick Perkins goes under there and says, "You are not exempt." So you see, like they've been trading little words back and forth, and I'm gonna show you what Bill Simmons' response was to Perk, his assessment of the Toronto Raptors moving forward after drafting Colin Murray Boyles. Let's get into it.
Toronto took Colin Murray Boyles, leading Kendrick Perkins. I didn't know which telecast to watch. It was like, do I take this samurai sword and jam it into my temple, or do I take this chainsaw and saw my leg off? I couldn't figure it out. Perk, they took Colin Murray Boyles, and Perk said they have the pieces in their top six team in the East. And at that point, I started looking for a third ESPN channel, but there were only two covering the draft. There wasn't a third one, at least one that I couldn't find. But I didn't mind that pick. And then Malawach at 10. And then we had a trade. And then the draft started getting really weird.
Just leaving set, heading to this other event that I got to do. Thinking about Bill Simmons, cupcake ass. Always got my name in his mouth. But I'm going to address you Sunday, okay? Believe that. I'm going to address you on my special edition, me only, yours truly, Sunday on Road Tripping, okay? They give me my spot, and I'm going to get on your ass like back pockets because I'm not tired of you. I don't know who anointed you, the preacher or king of the head honcho of overseeing basketball and way things need to be. Man, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done, period, in the game of basketball? Have you ever played? And I usually don't even address people because I don't even be really caring about it, but it's kind of pissing me off because you feel like you're sitting on this throne. You got in your feelings. You got in your feelings because I said that I feel like the Toronto Raptors are going to be a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference this upcoming season. So that wasn't a crazy take or anything to that nature. It's a real thing, fool. When you look at the Eastern Conference, Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton most likely going to be out for the entire season. We know what Jason Tatum is going through with his Achilles as well. Boston blowing the whole damn thing up. The only teams that I'm thinking about right now is the Cavs, right? The Orlando Magic, the Detroit Pistons going to be back, in the New York Knicks. That's 4 teams. And when you think about the most important position in the NBA, which is the perimeter, they have that. They have 2 all-star caliber players. 2, maybe 3 if you include R.J. Barrett, with Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. You know what I mean? So why was that like, oh, Perk, he said this and man, shut up. You didn't think before you started drinking them Heinekens. And then you got your little peanut gallery up on the podcast who just agree, yeah, Bill, you're right, stand up. Man, shut the hell up. The hell you done. But I'm going to get more on your ass come Sunday. Believe that. I'm going to finish doing my research on you. Enough is enough. Like you some type of head honcho. You ain't no shot caller.
Man, I'll tell you what, since those layoffs at ESPN, we've been seeing former employees at the network and current ones going back and forth, whether they already had an underlying issue when they worked together or whether it's sour grapes looking back, or maybe people just want to tell all, want to get some stuff off their chest. But there's been so much made of the coverage of the NBA finals and now the NBA draft. And I think ESPN has gotten in its own way as far as when we're talking about the finals, I loved Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy personally, and sometimes I preferred to hear them over Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, and all those. Even back before social media and all that at times, because I know now it's popular to go against everything that's always been there. So some of the things people used to laugh at that Chuck says now they hate it, and it's just popular to hate it. But I'm saying, like, just from a pure standpoint and wanting to hear about the game, I enjoyed their dynamic, Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, more at times. But I'll say this: Toronto, I thought they would draft Mulliwalk last night out of Duke. Just his relationship with Messiah Ujiri and everything. So I was a little shocked at that. But they do have some pieces, and the East is a little bit more wide open. When you talk about Boston blowing it up, that was a team coming into last year. They were the perceived favorites to repeat, and now it's blowing up. And you got Derek White and Jalen Brown. Both of them won't be back, and maybe neither one of them will be back for the right offer. Uh, as far as the Celtics is concerned, so that would eliminate their current NBA championship window. They won't be winning next year, and they probably is going to struggle to make the postseason if they trading everything off trying to get assets to build for the future. Um, Now you have New York, but do they have really any flexibility to get much better? They should really look at this year as their window with the players that they have, because you're getting some help with Tyrese Halliburton being injured. Um, so Indiana's not going to run quiet the same. He had the most to do with their pace. You're really going to see how Tyrese Halliburton is missed over the course of next season. He was so essential to their pace, hitting the head for Pascal Siakam to play out in front. And I do feel like that pace probably contributed to those back-to-back non-contact injuries. So that may be something to watch in the future going forward. But um, so that team is not going to be nearly as good as they were this year as well. I look at who else? I mean, Miami, they used to be a 8 seed threat team, but not no more. You look at Atlanta. I mean, it's just open. It's open for so many teams. Like I said, Cleveland, New York, they're right there. But then after that, there's a lot left to be desired with the way these teams are moving, into the future. We just gonna have to wait and see. So I don't think that was outlandish what Perk said about Toronto potentially being one of those teams. I mean, you look at Brooklyn, Chicago, all these teams that are playing where there's so many teams that are like right at play-in level at their best, that we don't necessarily know who's going to emerge out of that and be one of those teams that is vying for a clear playoff spot. Obviously, the Bucks with Giannis is going to grab a playoff spot if he stays healthy, but we don't even know if he's still going to be there. I know he said he's committed to them, but what are the Bucks looking at? Or are they looking to make any kind of move? And I thought they would have during the first day of the draft if they did, because they would want a big time pick and a vet or a few vets for that. But don't look like that's gonna happen either. So Giannis will probably be back there. But yeah, man, Bill Simmons has been taking some shots at people at that network. A lot of people have been complaining about the draft coverage and the NBA Finals coverage. I want to know what you think. Are you Team Perk or are you Team Bill Simmons? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.